Hello and welcome and namaste from New Delhi. You're watching DD India Live. I am Gautam Roy and coming up in the next 30 minutes. Prime Minister Narendra Modi unveils Skyroot built India's first private rocket Vikram 1, capable of placing satellites into orbit. France will introduce a voluntary military service of 10 months beginning next summer in the face of a growing threat posed by Russia. Russia sentences 8 people to life in prison over huge 2022 explosions which partially destroyed the Crimean bridge. And an army general is sworn in as Guinea-Bissau's transitional president for a year, a day after army officers announced they had deposed the West African nation's president. Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurated the Indian space startup Skyroot's Infinity campus in Hyderabad through video link on Thursday. The PM also unveiled Skyroot's first orbital rocket Vikram 1 with the capability to launch satellites into orbit. The state-of-the-art facility will have around 200,000 square feet of workspace for designing, developing, integrating and testing multiple launch vehicles with a capacity to build one orbital rocket every month. Here's more in this report.
3, 2, 1, 0.
A major boost for India's private space ambitions. Hyderabad-based Skyroot Aerospace today opened its Infinity campus, a facility dedicated to building and testing multiple launch vehicles under one roof. Inaugurated virtually by Prime Minister Narendra Modi, the campus spans almost 2 lakh square feet and aims to manufacture one orbital rocket every month. At the heart of today's event was the unveiling of Vikram 1, Skyroot's first orbital class rocket capable of placing satellites into low Earth orbit. The company says the new facility will significantly speed up production timelines for the Vikram series. Skyroot, founded by former ISRO scientists Pawan Chandana and Bharat Dhaka, has been at the forefront of India's private space growth. In 2022, it became the first Indian private company to launch a rocket, Vikram S, into space. Addressing the event, Prime Minister Narendra Modi said the rise of private space companies reflect the success of recent reforms in the sector.
सरकार ने स्पेस सेक्टर को प्राइवेट इनोवेशन के लिए ओपन किया। नई स्पेस पॉलिसी तैयार की गई। हमने स्टार्टअप्स को, इंडस्ट्री को इनोवेशन के साथ जोड़ने का प्रयास किया। हमने इन स्पेस की स्थापना की, अपने स्टार्टअप्स के लिए इसरो की फैसिलिटीज और टेक्नोलॉजी को उपलब्ध कराया। यानी भारत ने बीते 6-7 वर्षों में ही अपने स्पेस सेक्टर को एक ओपन, कोऑपरेटिव और इनोवेशन ड्रिवन इकोसिस्टम में बदल दिया है।
Prime Minister Narendra Modi also praised the contributions of India's Gen Z in taking the nation to new heights.
फिनटेक हो, एग्रीटेक हो, हेल्थ टेक हो, क्लाइमेट टेक हो, एजुटेक हो, डिफेंस टेक हो, हर क्षेत्र में भारत के युवा, हमारे जैन जी नए समाधान दे रहे हैं।
With the Infinity campus now operational, Skyroot will accelerate work on commercial satellite launches using the Vikram series. The company says the new integrated facility housing manufacturing, assembly and testing will boost efficiency and reduce turnaround time. India's private space industry has expanded rapidly in recent years, driven by reforms that opened the sector for collaboration and investment. Skyroot's progress is seen as a key step towards building an Atmanirbhar competitive launch ecosystem. From New Delhi, Akshay Dongre, DD India.
And in an exclusive conversation with DD India, Skyroot Aerospace's co-founder and CEO Pawan Kumar Chandana expresses gratitude to Prime Minister Modi for unveiling the company's first orbital rocket, Vikram 1.
We are very proud that Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji himself took time to inaugurate India's largest rocket factory, which you see here. And he has also taken time to unveil India's first commercial rocket, Vikram 1, which you can see here. This is going to create new capability in India towards Honorable Prime Minister's goal to reach 50 launches by 2030. And for that, we created this infrastructure. And very happy, proud that Honorable Prime Minister himself has taken time to do the inauguration and unveil the rocket.
And speaking about Skyroot Infinity's Skyroot's Infinity Campus and their first orbital rocket Vikram 1, Indian astronaut Shubhanshu Shukla expressed optimism about the growth of Indian private space sector. Listen in.
Today we are at Skyroot's Infinity Campus, which was inaugurated by our Honorable Prime Minister today morning. And in the background you can show the Vikram 1 rocket, which you can see going to launch in a few months' time. And I think this is going to be a defining moment for India's space journey, private sector, the first of its class orbital segment launch. And I'm very excited to see that and seeing this transforming how the world views India's private sector in space.
Now, the third India-Indonesia Defence Ministers' dialogue was held in New Delhi. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh co-chaired the event alongside Indonesia's Defence Minister Shafri Shamsuddin. During the event, the two ministers reviewed the regional security developments, discussed multilateral issues and explored new areas to deepen bilateral defence cooperation. Speaking at the meeting, India's Defence Minister Rajnath Singh said that the recent signing of the enhanced agreement on defence cooperation between India and Indonesia strengthened both the nations' commitment to augment defence cooperation.
In May 2018, as well as the signing of the enhanced agreement on defence cooperation. My frequent meetings with His Excellency Prabowo Subianto as Defence Minister further strengthen both our countries' commitment to augment defence cooperation. Through the decades, our defence ties have flourished, built on the foundation of the mutual commitment to regional security. Today's dialogue serves as a testament to the growing strength of our defence cooperation, which is an important pillar of our cooperation. Excellency, during the deliberations today, I look forward to have free and frank exchange of views to further deepen and expand our bilateral defence cooperation.
And speaking at the event, Indonesia's Defence Minister said that today's dialogue carries forward the strong momentum built between both the nations since India's Defence Minister's visit to Indonesia in 2018.
Today's dialogue carries forward for the strong momentum we have built together. In 2018, the visit of India Defence Minister to Jakarta revitalized our defence cooperation through the ceremonial signing of the Defence Cooperation Agreement, DCA. We both sides emphasizing the importance of translating discussion into concrete and practical deliverables. In this spirit, I'm confident that our dialogue today will produce concrete outcomes that strengthen trust and advance the strategic partnership between our two defense establishments.
A guard of honor was also presented to Indonesia's Defence Minister at the Sushma Swaraj Bhavan in New Delhi ahead of his meeting with Defence Minister Rajnath Singh, reflecting the mutual respect and commitment of both the nations to strengthen their defence cooperation. Now, the future for private sector in defence is quite bright, feel experts. At the Chanakya Defence Dialogue in Delhi, DD India's Vishal Biristow caught up with the chairperson and managing director of Bharat Forge. The company is into defence exports.
I'm here at the Chanakya Defense Dialogue 2025 and I have with me Baba Kalyani, a known name in the defense private sector. Let's talk to him and find out. Sir, your company has been there for a very long time, but now there's a lot of focus on the private sector and its participation. Prime Minister says that we can't be working in silos.
Absolutely right. I think the Honorable Prime Minister's policy of Atmanirbhar Bharat opened up the whole defense sector to the private sector. It happened around after 2014, the whole Make in India dialogue that happened in December, and then when the late Manohar Parrikar ji was defense minister, he created all these reforms of Atmanirbhar Bharat, the licensing of private sector for defense production, and that's when it really started. And we started around the same time. And today we have become the largest producer of artillery guns, artillery ammunition. We are doing unmanned systems, aerial, underwater, on land. We're getting into all kinds of technologies. And the level of capability, it all depends on what kind of capability a company creates.
Now, when we talk about exports, where does Indian companies stand and what is the plan for the future?
See, Indian companies, at least people like us, and there are many others also, they have very good products. They are products which are world class. Sometimes they are products better than what you see in the West. And I think the government is trying very hard. The Defense Minister is helping us. The armed forces are helping us. The Honorable Prime Minister is making these announcements everywhere. So I think it will take a few years for our exports to grow dramatically. And one of the advantages we have in India, which has become a disadvantage for many people in the world, Western world, is they are feeling a huge shortage of manpower, that also technical manpower.
Well, absolutely. So there you heard Baba Kalyani, and he is quite right, because the future belongs to India, because we have got a young talent pool and also the vision is quite clear. With cameraman Rajesh Ricky in Delhi, this is Vishal Baristo for DD India.
Let's now take look at some other stories making headlines all over the world. Well, scientists have developed an innovative method using the DNA extracted from elephant dung to help in keeping a track of the endangered African forest elephants, important for the regeneration of rainforests. The new method helps in counting individuals based on an analysis of their genetic fingerprint from dung samples. Angola's Hojuia village has now turned towards turtle conservation instead of hunting, a change credited to the local Kitabanga project. The project, backed by Angola's oldest university, trains communities in the importance of conservation. A giant Christmas tree has been put up in St. Peter's Square at the Vatican, signaling the beginning of the festive season. The tree will be decorated and lit in a ceremony to be held in early December. And still to come in this edition of DD India Live. US President Trump calls Washington shooting an act of terror. And former Pakistan Prime Minister Imran Khan's party demands meeting him in jail amid health worries.
Can the US launch a bombing campaign against Iran? The Philippines vessel suffered structural damage. The saga of child sexual abuse is the United States China's debt trap strategy. Truth is stranger than fiction. But sometimes hard to uncover. Trust us to tell the truth, unadulterated and pure, of every story that matters to you. We read between the lines, cut the clutter and connect the dots. to get you the full picture. Watch Connecting the Dots at these times with me, only on DD India.
Welcome back. You're watching DD India Live. I'm Gautam Roy. Now, French President Emmanuel Macron on Thursday has said that France will introduce a voluntary military service of 10 months beginning next summer. France has decided this in the face of a growing threat posed by Russia. It's set to introduce a new national service starting next summer. The French president spoke about the voluntary service during a speech to troops at the Versailles Alliés et Reset in southeastern France. He also said that volunteers, mostly aged 18 to 19, would be deployed only on national soil and not overseas.
Service national va être institué.
A new national service will be introduced gradually starting next summer. This service aims to achieve three specific objectives: strengthening the bond between our nation and our army, enhancing our nation's resilience, and consolidating the education of our youth.
All right, we're getting you some images of Prime Minister Narendra Modi being called upon by the winning team of women cricketers, the blind women cricketers. Prime Minister Modi has praised them as well, but we'll bring those images a little later for you. Let's carry on for the time being. A Russian military court on Thursday sentenced 8 men to life imprisonment for the 2022 explosions which partially destroyed the Crimean bridge, an incident both Moscow and Kyiv say was orchestrated by Ukraine's secret services. The defendants were convicted in a closed-door trial in Rostov-on-Don on charges of carrying out a deadly terrorist attack, illegally obtaining weapons as an organized group, and smuggling explosives. The attack on the 19-kilometer Kerch road and rail crossing in October 2022 killed 5 people and caused a collapse of 2 sections of the highway. Kyiv later acknowledged responsibility, saying the strike was aimed at disrupting Russian military logistics in occupied Crimea.
In the nearest future, it should be expected that the negotiation teams will meet. What are we expecting? Our expectation are concrete results so that progress can be made. It is extremely important.
Ukraine's foreign minister, that was him, Andriy Sybiha, has said on Thursday that US and Ukraine's negotiating teams will meet soon, adding that Kyiv would focus on specific steps in peace proposals. He added that Ukraine expected concrete results which would allow progress to be made towards a ceasefire. And Russia has called on the Polish ambassador on Thursday, informing him about the decision to close Warsaw's consulate in the Siberian city of Irkutsk by the 30th of December. Reacting to the news, Polish Foreign Ministry spokesperson said that Poland accepts Russia's decision to withdraw consent, though there are no solid grounds for the closure. The move is seen as a retaliatory step to Poland's closure of Russian consulate over accusations of sabotage on a Polish rail line. Refuting all allegations, the Russian ministry had said that the decision was a blatantly hostile and unjustified move by the Polish leadership. Poland had earlier announced it would revoke permission for Russia's consulate in Gdansk on the 23rd of December. Now, in the latest US shooting that's taking place in Washington, D.C., President Donald Trump has called it an act of terror. He also mentioned that the suspect has been identified and believed to have entered into the US territory from Afghanistan in 2021. Trump called for his government to re-examine Afghan immigrants who enter the United States during the former President Joe Biden's administration. The suspect, who was wounded in an exchange of gunfire before he was arrested, was identified by the Department of Homeland Security as Rahmanullah Lakanwal, an Afghan national. Following Donald Trump's remarks, the U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services said late on Wednesday it has stopped processing all immigration requests relating to Afghan nationals indefinitely. Let's now take you to those images that we have got now of Prime Minister Narendra Modi meeting and congratulating the Indian blind women's cricket team for winning the inaugural T20 World Cup, saying In fact, he's already commented on social media about it, saying the triumph is a shining example of teamwork and determination, and you can see the Prime Minister distributing laddus among, or sweets rather, among the teammates as well. Very happy occasion there. India's victorious blind women's cricket team. Now, India won the inaugural T20 World Cup of blind women after defeating Nepal by 7 wickets in the final that was played at the Pisara Oval in Colombo on Sunday, that's on the 23rd of this month, where India had restricted Nepal to 114 for 5 after opting to bowl, and then coasted to 117 for 3 in just 12 overs to claim the title. Earlier in the day, the Prime Minister had posted about it on X as well. He had said, and I quote, "Congratulations to Indian blind women's cricket team for creating history by winning the inaugural blind women's T20 World Cup. More commendable is the fact that they stayed unbeaten in the series." End quote. So, lots to talk about there. That's the trophy. Everybody's applauding. Very happy pictures indeed, and a signed bat from the entire team as well. I believe it's being gifted to the Prime Minister along with the ball. Oh, the ball is being signed by the Prime Minister then. The PM also added in his social media post earlier that this is indeed a historic sporting achievement, a shining example of hard work, teamwork and determination. Each player is a champion. My best wishes to the team for their future endeavours. This feat will inspire generations to come. End quote. Now, through the course of the tournament, India got the better of Sri Lanka, Australia, Nepal, the US and Pakistan in the league phase itself before beating the Australians again in the semi-final. This was a tournament which was co-hosted by India and Sri Lanka, with fixtures held in Delhi and also in Bengaluru, where India is concerned. And just tell you a little bit more about how this game is played, blind cricket. Well, 11 players make up a blind cricket team, and it is played with a white plastic ball packed with ball bearings that rattle as the ball rolls, mostly along the ground. Normally aerial bowling is not allowed, and as it rolls along the ground, the player can hear the ball coming towards the batter and it can be struck. Big moment there for blind cricket in India. Now let's talk a little bit further about sports. And the Perth pitch, which hosted the first Ashes Test, was rated as very good by the International Cricket Council despite the game finishing inside 2 days. It's a 5-day match, otherwise any test match. Now, under the governing body's 4-tier rating system, very good is the highest possible rating for a pitch with the good carry, limited seam movement and consistent bounce early in the match. The ICC said the pitch allowed for a balanced contest between batters and bowlers. Australia took a 1-0 lead in the 5-match series with an 8-wicket win in a test which saw 19 wickets fall on day 1. Day 2 saw another flurry of wickets as England were bowled out for 164 before Travis Head's incredible 123 guided Australia to victory. Now, torch relay for the 2026 Winter Games has begun in Greece's ancient city of Olympia. The traditional outdoor ceremony, normally held at the stadium where the games were born in ancient Greece, was cancelled in advance due to weather warnings. After a week-long route through Greece, the flame will be handed over to Italian organizers on the 4th of December. The torch will pass through 60 Italian cities, 300 towns and over 10,000 torch bearers before reaching Cortina d'Ampezzo on the 26th of January. The journey will conclude in Milan, with the flame entering the San Siro Stadium on the 6th of February for the game's opening ceremony. And that's all we have for this edition of DD India Live, but let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. And for those on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India, also across the world, on DD India's mobile app. The app is available on both Android and iOS. Just scan the QR code on the screen and download the app right away. Simple as that. And we'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Gautam Roy. From all of us here in Delhi, thanks for watching DD India Live.